All right, so today we're going deep on AI and how it's shaking things up for businesses.
Yeah, always a hot topic, right?
For sure. And, I think everyone's trying to figure out
Yeah.
where's the real value with this stuff?
Exactly. I mean, beyond all the hype.
Totally. So we've got some excerpts here from The Secrets of AI Value Creation.
Sounds promising, right to the point.
Yeah, practical stuff. That's what we're after.
Right, absolutely. Cutting through the noise.
So my big question going into this, does AI actually live up to the hype?
The million-dollar question.
Like, can it really create value, or is it just a shiny new toy?
Well, I think that's exactly what this book sets out to explore, how to move beyond just the hype.
Right.
And actually look at how you can use AI strategically. And, it's interesting because they focus on these AI achievers.
Okay.
And you might be surprised to learn they aren't all these, tech startups.
I mean, Amazon and Google, those are the obvious
Yeah,
ones.
you'd expect those, right?
But I saw John Deere on this list, and I'm thinking, tractors and AI.
Tractors and AI.
What?
That's an unexpected combo.
That is an interesting... Yeah, that's an interesting one.
But it illustrates the point that, successfully incorporating AI, it's really a journey.
Okay, so not a quick fix.
Not at all, no.
Yeah.
Like a marathon, right? Not a sprint.
Okay, marathon, not a sprint.
And John Deere, they've been on this path for decades, starting way back in the early 2000s with sensor-equipped tractors.
Oh, wow.
And now, they're using AI for everything, from optimizing crop yields to predicting maintenance needs, even enhancing customer service.
So they're not just replacing farmers with robots. They're giving farmers AI superpowers.
Exactly.
That's pretty wild.
It's augmenting human capabilities, right?
Yeah.
Taking what they already do well and amplifying it.
That's mind-blowing.
Yeah. And it's not just agriculture either. The book talks about, Coca-Cola using AI to analyze social media data.
Oh, interesting. Oh,
And they're going way beyond just, likes and shares. It's about understanding what customers actually want.
so they're using AI to, basically become mind readers.
Yeah.
Predict the next big flavor trend or something.
Well, kind of, yeah. The big takeaway here is that even if you're not a global giant like Coke,
Right.
the principle is the same. AI can help you unlock these valuable insights from data.
Yeah. So everyone's got data.
You've already got it. It's just what you do with it.
I like it.
Ah.
How do you know where to even start with that, though?
That's where this book, it introduces what it calls the AI value factor approach.
Okay, let's unpack that. What does that mean in practical terms?
So basically, it's a framework, right, for cutting through all the hype and figuring out if a potential AI solution is actually worth the investment. And it really boils down to three core questions.
All right, hit me.
The first one, is there a genuine business opportunity here?
Okay, makes sense.
How big is the problem we're trying to solve?
Right, because not every problem needs an AI solution.
Exactly.
You could over-engineer things.
Yeah. Totally. You could. And so, is it worth the effort? The book gives the example of predicting customer churn in the insurance industry.
Oh, yeah, keeping people from switching providers.
Right. Exactly. And AI, it can identify those who are likely to leave. But here's the thing.
What's that?
If the company doesn't have a solid plan to actually retain those customers.
Oh, so even if the prediction's right, it's useless.
Exactly. Even the most accurate prediction, it's useless.
It's like having a super sleuth who can spot a thief. But if the police don't have a plan to catch them...
It's all for nothing.
Yeah, totally. So what's the second factor?
A second factor is feasibility risk.
Okay, what does that mean?
Can we actually build and implement this AI solution
Right.
with the resources and technology that we have available?
Okay, so be realistic about it.
It's all about being realistic, about what's achievable.
Like those early versions of Siri, maybe? A lot of promise,
Oh, yeah.
but not quite ready for prime time.
Totally. They overpromised and underdelivered, right? Because the technology just wasn't there yet.
Right.
And their competitors, like Amazon's Alexa, they were smart. They focus on these achievable functionalities, and they gain a real advantage.
So valuable lesson there. Start small, and then scale up as the technology improves.
Right. It's a marathon, remember?
It is a marathon. We can't forget that. All right, what's the third factor we need to consider?
Adoption risk.
Adoption risk. Okay, what's that?
Will people actually use this solution that we build?
Oh, interesting. So the human element.
Totally. Are there any organizational or cultural barriers to adoption? Like the WhatsApp privacy policy backlash is a perfect example.
Oh, yeah, where everybody freak out.
Exactly. Even a technically brilliant AI solution, it can totally fail if it doesn't take into account user concerns.
So it all comes back to that human element, huh? The tech is only part of the equation.
It's only one part of the puzzle, yeah.
You need to think about how people actually interact with it and whether they'll embrace it or not. So we've got this framework for assessing the value, the business opportunity, the feasibility, and the adoption risk.
You got it.
But how does AI actually create value in practice?
So the book outlines 4 distinct types.
So we've got this framework, right, for how we think about AI and the value it brings, business opportunity, feasibility, adoption risk. Got it.
Right. Those are the key things to keep in mind. But then how does it actually create value in the real world?
Yeah, the rubber hits the road. How does it actually work?
So the book breaks it down into 4 types, 4 main ways this happens.
Okay, I'm listening. What are those?
So we've got process optimization, decision-making augmentation, and then decision-making automation.
Okay, keep going.
And then finally, AI products and services.
Okay, so 4. Let's start with process optimization. That sounds pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah, it's kind of the most basic one, I guess you could say. Making things faster, cheaper, more efficient.
So like applying AI to stuff we're already doing, but doing it better.
Exactly. Like think about a company, Amazon. They use AI to optimize their warehouse operations, you know?
Oh, yeah. It makes sense, all the robots.
Exactly. Or like their delivery routes, figuring out the most efficient way to get things to people.
Oh, yeah, of course. We all want our packages as fast as possible, right?
Exactly. Or the book gives an example of like a telecommunications company using AI to streamline their direct mail campaigns.
Okay. Interesting. I wouldn't think of that as an AI thing.
Yeah, but it led to like a massive increase in ROI.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, so it's like these are tasks that companies were already doing, you know?
Right.
But AI helps them to just do them way better, more efficiently.
So it's not always about these flashy, brand new inventions. Sometimes it's just like making the everyday stuff run smoother. Okay, I like it. What about decision-making augmentation?
Okay, so this is where AI gets a little more...
more strategic.
More strategic, yeah. Instead of replacing human decision-making, it's about, providing data-driven insights to help people make better decisions.
Okay, so it's like instead of having a human make the call, you've got this AI advisor, I guess.
Yeah, you could think of it that way. It's like having a team of analysts crunching numbers 24/7.
But like a million times faster.
Exactly, but in a fraction of the time. And the book, it gives this example of AI supporting loan underwriting decisions.
Oh, interesting.
So they can process huge amounts of data, like way more than a human ever could.
Makes sense.
And identify patterns that might indicate, like risk or opportunity.
So it's like finding the needles in the haystack, the stuff that a human might miss.
Exactly.
So that's really interesting. It's like a collaboration then, humans and AI.
Right, and that's what a lot of people think AI should be about.
Yeah, each playing to their strengths. Okay, then we got decision-making automation. So this is where the AI actually makes the call.
That's right. This is where things get
more tricky.
A little trickier, yeah, and potentially more controversial.
Okay.
It's about having AI make decisions autonomously without human intervention.
Okay, I see where this could be an issue. Like, what kind of decisions are we talking about?
Right, well, think of those fintech companies, right?
Yeah.
That use AI to approve loans for people who might be rejected by traditional banks.
Okay. So it's opening up new possibilities, but I can see how people would be worried about that.
Right, like what if the AI is biased?
Right.
Or makes a mistake.
Exactly. Unintended consequences, all that stuff.
Exactly. There's definite ethical considerations there. It's not just about implementing AI. It's about doing it responsibly.
Right. Okay, makes sense. Which brings us to the 4th type, AI products and services.
Right.
So this is where AI becomes like the core of what you're offering.
Exactly. So think of like AI-powered medical diagnosis tools.
Oh, okay.
Or self-driving cars. These aren't just products with like AI features,
Right. AI is the whole point.
AI is the whole reason they exist.
So it's like a whole new category of stuff, things that we could barely even imagine just a few years ago.
Exactly.
Okay, this is all really fascinating. But creating this value, making it actually work, that can't be easy.
Right. So the book highlights 3 crucial elements for success with AI.
Okay, what are those?
It's data, stakeholder motivation, and building trust.
Data seems like the obvious one, right?
Right. I mean, AI needs data to learn to make decisions.
But is it just about having lots of data, or is there more to it than that?
It's about having the right kind of data. It's not just about quantity. It's about quality, immediacy, context.
Okay, break that down for me a little.
Okay, so like, let's say you're trying to predict customer churn, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Data disaggregation is key. It's not enough to just know someone's age, for example.
Right.
You need their purchase history, their browsing habits, maybe even their social media activity.
So you can paint a fuller picture of who they are and what they're likely to do.
Exactly. It's like the difference between looking at a blurry photo and seeing a high-definition image. The more detail you have, the clearer things become.
Okay, that makes sense. What about stakeholder motivation? That sounds more about getting people on board with AI, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. You can have the most sophisticated AI system in the world, but if people aren't motivated to actually use it,
It's pointless.
it's totally worthless. And so it's about understanding their values, addressing their concerns, showing them how AI can actually make their lives better.
Okay, so it's not about convincing them that AI is cool. It's about convincing them that AI is useful.
Right. It can solve their problems, make their jobs easier.
Okay. And building trust. That's got to be even more important with AI, right?
Huge, yeah. People need to be able to trust that AI is making fair and reliable decisions.
Because if it feels like this black box just spitting out these pronouncements,
People are going to resist it, yeah.
yeah, they're not going to buy in. So transparency is key. Like showing how the AI works, explaining its decisions, addressing potential biases, all that stuff.
Exactly. It's about making AI accountable, just like any human decision maker would be.
Right, right. Got to play by the rules. Okay, so that's interesting. But I think one thing people worry about with AI, especially now that it's getting so powerful, is that it's going to get too smart.
Yeah.
You know, like surpass human intelligence, all that
The
stuff.
singularity.
Exactly. So how do we address those concerns? How do we manage AI, make sure it stays on the right track?
Well, I think the book has some really good insights into that, some practical strategies for maintaining control and
Hey,
understanding.
I'm all ears.
Yeah.
Let's hear it. Okay, so we're talking about managing AI and making sure that we keep things under control. What are some of the strategies the book suggests?
Well, one key area is understanding how AI arrives at its decisions, right? We need to be able to kind of peek inside the black box and grasp the reasoning, not just see the output.
Yeah, because, I mean, if a friend gave you advice, you'd probably take it, but
Right.
you'd feel a lot more confident if you understood their thinking. Like, how did they get there?
Exactly. Yeah. And the book goes into some techniques for making AI's decision-making more transparent. And one approach is actually using simpler algorithms.
Okay, interesting.
They may not be as sophisticated, but their logic is often easier to follow.
So sometimes a clear explanation is more valuable than like a hyper-accurate but opaque prediction.
Yeah.
Are there other ways to make AI more transparent?
Yeah, another technique is actually visualizing the different factors that contribute to an AI's decision.
Okay.
So this helps us see which variables are most influential,
Right.
right? And how they actually shape the outcome.
So it's like getting a breakdown of how your credit score is calculated, for example.
Exactly.
Showing you the impact of payment history or debt levels or...
Right. It gives you that deeper level of understanding.
Yeah. Okay, so transparency is essential for building trust.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It lets us identify potential biases and make sure the system is operating fairly.
Right, because if we don't understand how the AI is working, we can't really be sure that it's not perpetuating existing inequalities or something.
Exactly. Transparency allows us to audit the decision-making process and ensure that AI is being used ethically. And it's not just about explaining AI's decisions after the fact. It's about designing systems that are like inherently transparent and interpretable from the ground up.
So building that explainability into the DNA of the AI,
Right, from the very beginning.
that sounds like a huge challenge.
It is, but it's a really exciting area of research and development right now.
Yeah, and probably only going to become more important as AI becomes more powerful.
Absolutely. So beyond transparency, another strategy for managing AI is focusing on generalizability.
Okay, that's a mouthful. What does that mean in plain English?
Basically, it means making sure that AI systems can adapt to new situations and data, not just repeat patterns from the past.
Oh, okay, so learning and evolving.
Exactly, adapting.
I mean, wasn't that kind of the problem with the Zillow example we talked about earlier?
Exactly, yeah.
Their AI got thrown off by the pandemic because the housing market went haywire. It just couldn't handle that sudden shift.
Right, it couldn't generalize beyond its training data. And so the whole house flipping business,
Went belly up.
it failed, yeah.
Okay, so how do you prevent that from happening?
Well, one approach is to design algorithms that can recognize new patterns and adapt to them. right?
Okay, so more flexible AI, essentially.
More flexible, more adaptable. And another key thing is incorporating human oversight and expertise, especially in those situations that are complex or unpredictable.
So it's not about replacing humans completely. It's about combining the strengths of AI with human judgment.
Exactly. Each has its own unique strengths. What are some other strategies for managing AI effectively?
Yeah, what else can we do?
Well, consistency is crucial, right?
Okay.
We need to understand that AI's decisions can vary even with the same data.
Oh, really? So it's not always 100% consistent?
Not necessarily, no. And so we
Oh.
need to learn how to manage that variability. And then there's this idea of controlling AI, and that involves things like simplifying algorithms, aligning them with business objectives, focusing on causality.
Okay, break that down for me a little bit.
So simplifying algorithms often means choosing models that are easier to understand and interpret, even if they're not the most cutting edge.
So, again, clarity over complexity sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay, what about aligning AI with business objectives?
So this is basically making sure that the AI's decisions are actually supporting the goals of the organization.
It's like making sure the AI is actually working with us,
Yeah.
not against us.
Exactly. And then focusing on causality, that's about going beyond just explaining AI's decisions.
Okay.
It's about understanding the underlying reasons why those decisions were made. So for example, instead of just knowing that an AI recommended a product
Right.
because the customer viewed similar items,
Yeah.
we want to understand like the customer's motivations, their needs, the factors that are actually driving their choices.
So it's about digging deeper to understand the cause and effect relationships that shape AI's behavior.
Exactly. Yeah. Getting to that deeper level of understanding.
Man, this has been such an incredible journey through the world of AI. I feel like my brain is bursting.
It's a lot to take in for sure.
We've gone from tractors to social media to house flipping to medical diagnoses.
It's everywhere.
The possibilities truly seem endless.
Yeah, and it's really a testament to the incredible power and potential of AI. But it's important to remember we're still in the early stages of this journey. There's so much more to learn, and the field is evolving so rapidly. So the secrets of AI value creation, I think it's given us a great framework for thinking about AI's potential, the challenges, and the strategies for success.
Yeah, it's definitely given us a lot to think about.
And I think the biggest takeaway for me is the importance of a human-centered approach to AI, one that focuses on augmenting human capabilities, fostering transparency, and ensuring ethical and responsible use.
And on that note, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to encourage you, our listener, to keep exploring this fascinating world. Stay curious, keep learning, and don't be afraid to ask tough questions. Because AI is a powerful tool, but it's up to all of us to shape its future.